nation, waiting on the manifestation of the sons of God that saints patient. In the spiritual war until the spiritual powers get it down, then we gon' make nations bow. Bit in the dust and powder. Crawl on your belly like a serpent, coward. No Scarface, this earth is ours. Falling on heads like the turf was flowers. Walls of the city, they breaking hot. I go up and down, it's a close encounter. Prophecies I see fulfilled. We living at the banner on this here mountain. John 7:38, rivers and fountains flowing through the city like a pyramid bounty. Going through the city just to steal them, counting. That's a lost penny on the ground. 2020 blitz, give me on feet. So when they catch 153 big fish. Living millstones turn around they neckties. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Right skin forward. If you at home, sleep what you in this for. Cause it ain't no peace till we win this war. 2020 blitz, give me on feet. So when they catch 153 big fish. Living millstones turn around they neckties. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Right skin forward. If you at home, sleep what you in this for. Cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Real recognize real and they unfamiliar. Brothers fold like dollar bills for 30 pieces of silver. I ain't got no hatred for you, your own works will kill you. You'll sin now and pay later cause the Lord will bill you. That's enough, I'm about to head to Memphis. I'm done addressing these false brothers, they so pretentious. Our people dying, they need prophets to bring the census. The cost of sin is your life and that's too expensive. Christ paid it with his life, he paid those expenses. But only for the Israelites who follow repentance. For these preachers still lying, ain't no happy ending. I'm Gary Payton with the gospel, I'm set to defend it. The deacon put the order out, so I'm on the mission. A lot of brothers on the couch just scratching and itching. Rolling around like a door swinging on the hinges. And if the shoe fits, I hope they get offended.
Not no more! Not no more! Who's the king? Who's the king? What time is it?
And if you at home, sleep what you in this for. Cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Yeah, we got that fire, so don't run from the scripts. They get the gun from your hip, get hit with the fire. Not the fire that come from a clip, but the fire that come from my lips. Be ready to blaze. When that alarm erupt, that mean it's time that we armor up. Yeah, these just be really thinking they harming us. But our God won't allow them to tarnish us. They gon' honor us, so we advise them to let go. It was awesome to get go. It'll be the Omega when they see that purple and gold with the boots on the ground like a step show. Echo, let's go, take over the planet. Just as long as the Lord behind us, these heathens can't stand it. And we gon'
blitz, give me on feet. So when they catch 153 big fish. Living millstones turn around they neckties. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Right skin forward. And if you at home, sleep what you in this for. Cause it ain't no peace till we win this war. 2020 blitz, give me on feet. So when they catch 153 big fish. Living millstones turn around they neckties. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Right skin forward. And if you at home, sleep what you in this for. Cause it ain't no peace till we win this war.
Nice to meet you, Mr. War and Peace. Tell me one thing, how do we war and peace? The lions roaring while they sleep and count sheep. Kings and priests, I'd rather chill and sip the grape's blood. But the word of God is sitting on my taste buds. Got this little light of mine, I let it shine like the new moon. Not your average Jew dude, this brute food. The man of war fed me manna. Now I'm ready, this ain't playtime. A blitz, put a hit stick, Mike Vick to a K9.
All in all, soldiers from the SIP to California. From the bottom of the map to the desert, Arizona. Here to prophesy of war, famine, pestilence like Rona. You a goner if you ain't willing to mortify your members. Make them quiver, cause it ain't no peace. You looking at your priest, no more hiding in the corner. We in your face on Beale Street. Now feel me when I say you better repent, or that's the end of your existence. We blitzing 2020 down in Tennessee, Memphis.
Give me on feet. So when they catch 153 big fish. Living millstones turn around they neckties. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Right skin forward. And if you at home,
time. I think it's time. We out here killing each other. I think it's time for this. So everybody on my Facebook Live, I'm with you.
We a black man in Memphis, Tennessee. What you seeing is the man of God.
when the trumpet sound or the prophet start, we touch it down on every corner. Late night and early morning with 100 scriptures for a damn scorner. After class, we ain't tired yet, watch us roll out like a transformer. Beale Street, here we go again, down in Memphis 10 where we get it in. Prophesying till we get the win, prophesying till the king won. Ghost rider when I'm hitting camp, word of God, fire coming on my tongue. 30 days, we ain't misses none, hitting every city and everywhere. In the winter, we don't give a curve when they call for duty, St. Louis stuff.
This a call for the just. Time running out, going hard in the clutch. Ain't nobody else going harder than us. Can't stop, won't stop like a bomb on a bus. Speed, yo, pedal to the floor, it don't matter where we go. The word going out, yeah, we gotta let them know if it's a one-way trip, then it's how I gotta go. We put our life on the line. No, you can't break through the this line. This for the deaf and the blind. We can't be wasting no time. You better make up your mind. We stay on the grind. We gon' go while you stalling. Gotta make sure of my calling. We won't lose. Yeah, I know they wanna kill us when they see us, but they really wanna be us cause we do what they don't do. We just do what we supposed to. You can hate if you want to. We produce more fruit like Whole Foods. Yeah, the end will be close to. Many call, but these hoes few. From city to city, we making moves. Hit the streets, then we breaking tools. Scripts kicking like taking tools. So much purpose, we make the news. Repent or die, we don't make the rules.
Give me on feet, so in there catch 153 big fish. Living millstone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Rank skin forward. If you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace, we win this war.
Welcome to the Lion's Den. Fix your face, you OKC, we on the rise again. We in the scripts and in them streets, the section doctrines in. Hidden history, we teach rebuilding lives again. Look. It's hammer time if you ain't know enough. This the book of our fathers, and yeah, we keep it opened up. I like shine like Bruce Lee, Roy, and show enough. Come up to the prophets, correct or get cold cut. Cut them cold
So
cuts.
if you at home, sleep what you in this for. See, it ain't no peace, so you in this war. 6 times these dead bodies scattered on the floor. Got enough dead brothers, I don't want no more. That's a parable for Egypt and how it all relates back to Memphis. That's why you see the prophets out blitzing with no intermission. IUIC on the message, so start what you're doing, just listen. Don't come to pay attention. Don't be confused when you catch on the street with a meat that was sin because the Lord seek vengeance. It's still waking up the valley of the dry bones with the real Jews coming straight out the trenches. It's a hard knock life, but we out here when it just keep the command stop sinning. Only few was chosen, but when the Lord called,
Gotta
you might
fight this
call
fight,
me.
gotta win this war. When I swing this hammer, gonna hit like Thor. Better get your camera to hit with gold. Cause it ain't for a glamour when I live this war. This a myth, this bitch, you can get hit quick. We avengers for the nations. Dodging the fiery dots of Satan like a ninja in the Matrix. I walk the walk, I talk the talk like Devo, I'm a bullet. Like a lasso stretch, I'm a gas the net, find Nemos and I pull it. I walk the walk, I talk the talk like Devo, I'm a bullet. Like a lasso stretch, I'm a gas the net, find Nemos and I pull it.
No, we not like you, we different disciples. It's not in the Bible, we don't entertain. Not here to fight with you, nor to be tight with you. See that we blitzing, no need to explain. We don't dislike you, we just don't align with you. Tend to your business, acknowledge our lane. Get two off together unless they agree. When you get this meaning, then you do the same. We out here to wake up our people, don't play with no evil. That don't compute with our brains. We focus on feeding our family these scripts. If it's your focus, and we ain't the same. I keep it 180%. You know the kid out here bringing this change. It ain't to diminish the work that y'all do, but you must repent if you seek to be saved.
2020 blitz, give me on feet, so in there catch 153 big fish. Living millstone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Rank skin forward. If you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace, we win this war. 2020 blitz, give me on feet, so in there catch 153 big fish. Living millstone, turn around they necktie. Still trying to see, did it sink that quick? Be a street bullet, stronghold, pull it down, boost to the ground. Rank skin forward. If you at home, sleep what you in this for, cause it ain't no peace, we win this war.
I just wanna live and serve the Most High. Yeah. That's the whole duty of man in this life. Yeah. I know I'm a soldier he put on the line. I'm ready to fight, yeah. And they persecute me like I'm Jeremiah. That's what we do. His word is the truth and it goes like a fire.
Destruction's coming very soon. I'm just warning you.
This is how you love thy neighbor. They love to see you.
XL, go far, XL like a car, we accelerate. Push hard to the pedal brake, all for heaven's sake, to gold metal flakes on my head.
Your activism needs to be about keeping these commandments. what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High giving us guidance on what we need to do.
Officer Iuic. Officer Nashon. Officer Iuic.
Shalom, 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 shalom. Brothers and sisters, Most High in Christ bless you all as we prepare for our seventh-day Sabbath. All praise to the Most High. I'm Deacon Yawasop, and to my right is
Captain Sariah. Shalom, Israel.
Officer Yehiel.
Officer Iuic. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
all praise to the Most High. Happy Sabbath, and welcome to the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers. We're in part 3. We're in part 3 of our series, the media, social media, PATV, which is public access television, and GAG. We're in part 3. We're going to go through a lot of articles today and some videos, and we're going to talk about the importance of why unity is important. And the reason why I'm specifying unity today is because media, the white supremacist tool that is used to keep us in a mess, is the media. The media, the mainstream media, is used to keep people's minds warped, keep people's minds psychologically clogged up to the point where they cannot unify, they can't come together, they can't love their brothers, they can't love their sisters, can't love their wives, husbands, children. Everything is out of order because we are constantly bombarded with a television that intercepts our unity between each other, okay? Also want to give a shout out to my technical team. I got Officer Kaz in the booth, also Officer Gidron, also have Soldier
Israel.
Soldier Israel, and also
O'Shea.
Who else?
O'Shea.
O'Shea. Okay, we got O'Shea and Israel, and we also have Soldier Uriah on the camera. All praise to the Most High. I just wanted to get that in. We usually forget, not that we mean to forget, but we be so action packed. So I said, let me get them in the beginning. So they got a lot to hold up to because I gave them the shout outs already. Y'all all right? So we're going to go into our subject. I want to talk about what we are tasked to do, meaning this is our job. Our job as Israelites and as leaders in particular, our job is to bind our people in unity with God's commandments. That's what our job is. Our job is to encourage our people to keep the laws of God in spite of the attempts to destroy us, in spite of the media that tries to separate us and destroy us and destroy the cohesive unity that we are to have among ourselves. Okay, so our job is to fight against all levels of oppression by keeping the commandments of God. That's the only way we're going to do it. The Most High is not going to allow us to get from underneath our oppressors, get from underneath this wicked rule until we acknowledge our offense and return to Him and keep His commandments. That's the point right there. That is the point. So I'm going to quickly go over a couple of scriptures that's going to fortify the unity. But before we do that, let's read what we have to bring out every week. We're going to do this pretty quick, and then we're going to get right into our lesson.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1, King James Version.
All praise to the Most High. So we had to get that in there. So right away, I want to talk about unity, the importance of the unity that God is talking about. We understand that we are the victims of the actions of unity that comes from white supremacy, which is the arm of white supremacy is the media. A lot of people trying to put it in other directions. But the scriptures say, as a man thinketh, so is, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if we are made to think of ourselves as hoodlums, as no good and haters and backbiters and whoremongers and whores and things of that nature, if we're made to think that way, the division is already done. The division is already done. Okay? What's going on? Okay. Say something.
So there again, Israel, we're bringing out the truth according to the Bible, the book of our fathers. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope y'all had a good week this week. So we're getting ready to get down to business here at the Bible, the book of our fathers. All praises.
Right, Captain. If you can control the image, you can control the way people feel about themselves, or control the way people feel about the group of people that you're showing to be a certain type of way.
Our topic at the moment is about unity. Let's get into the unity, brothers and sisters. Give me the book of Psalms 50, verse 5.
The book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me.
So the Most High, again, we're talking about unity. And like I was pointing out before, white supremacy, the arm of white supremacy is the media. And the media works with so many different factions of this society to cause them all to work in unison to oppress the Israelites. And the media is the window, is the collective arm of mind control. Okay, is the collective arm of mind control, which is to turn our minds so that we end up doing the work for the oppressor. They don't even have to do anything. All they need to do is just sit back and watch us and say, look at how they're acting. And we fulfill what we've been programmed to do through media. Okay, so the Most High wants us to gain a sense of unity through keeping his commandments. Okay, and that's the most powerful weapon of all. There ain't no kind of weapon is gonna upstage the Most High's commandments. That's the weaponry that we need. Read that.
Gather my saints together unto me.
We're in the book of Psalms 50, verse 5. Read.
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Read it again.
Gather my saints together unto me.
The Most High said to the prophets, gather my saints, meaning gather them together in unity. That's what the Most High is talking about. Unity, unify them, unify the tribes, unify the saints, put the saints in order. This is what Corinthians is talking about with the different offices and the spiritual gifts and the different parts of the body. That's what this is talking about. A lot of people reading the Bible don't understand the basics. That's what me and Deacon Ithon, we always have that conversation. Brothers always wanting to go into the deep stuff, but the basics is what we miss. Read it again.
Gather my saints together unto me.
Organize my people. That's the translation. Organize my people. Organize them. Read it again.
Gather my saints together unto me. Those that have made a covenant with me.
Who did the Most High want gathered together? The ones that made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice. Read the whole thing.
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
So those are the ones that the Most High said to gather them up and put them in order. Put them in order. Give me Titus 1 and 5. Give me Titus 1 and 5. Again, we're talking about unity.
That's heavy deep because
yes, sir.
He still want those.
Yes.
So he's saying those are the ones he's got any business with. Those are the ones he got something to do with.
Right, and he ain't changed that either. Read that.
Titus chapter 1 verse 5. For this cause left I thee in Crete.
Go ahead.
That thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting.
In other words, gather my people together. Set my people in order. Read it again.
For this cause left I thee in Crete.
Paul left Titus in Crete. Go ahead.
That thou shouldest set in order.
That you should set in order. That you shall set in organizing. That you shall set the order up. Of what? Read it again.
For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting.
The things that are lacking. That's what wanting means. So the things that we don't have, it takes organization. It takes structuring. It takes formation. It takes organization. That's what it takes. It takes systems. It takes ranks. It takes offices. That's what it takes. You got people running around talking about something they don't need to be a part of a congregation.
So they don't want to take no responsibility for nothing. That's what it is.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense at
Not
all.
at all.
Okay, we understand the real reason why people bail out. And it's got nothing to do with the quote unquote wickedness of an organization. All that's BS. The whole reason why they jumped ship is because the boat is moving too fast. The train is moving too fast. They need to get off because it's demanding too much of them.
And to say that is saying you don't believe in the Bible.
Exactly.
Because the Ephesians.
Right.
Okay. The Galatians.
Right.
Corinthians.
Right.
Those were churches, camps.
Exactly.
Okay.
100%.
So just like we are today, so if you saying that you don't believe in the Bible.
Exactly. Read.
What were they?
Exactly.
An organization.
Exactly. Read that Psalms again.
Psalms chapter 50, verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me.
Gather my saints together unto me. So that's the order that the Most High is putting out there. Go ahead.
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Those that have made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice. That's the people that the Most High is gathering up, and he's putting them in order. She's structuring them, putting them together. Give me Psalms 133. Psalms 133 and 1.
Psalms chapter 133 and verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
Read it again.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for
how pleasant it is for what?
For brethren to dwell together in unity.
No, I want to break off. I want to do something different. I want to leave the congregation and do something else.
For brethren to dwell together.
For brethren to dwell together. This makes absolutely no sense at all. I hear the craziest things. I was watching Captain Joshua yesterday. Wednesday. Everybody need to tune into that show. I got to tell you about it. Hey, put that thumbnail up there since I'm on it. Put that thumbnail up there. I just got to mention that thing. Put that up there. Brother, this brother, our captain, he has a great show. I've been watching it since the beginning, and I'm just trying to tie everybody else into it. Especially the last 2 weeks. He brought on the leader of the Brown Berets. Okay,
I saw that.
And that was heavy, and the information that he was bringing out in there was top notch. Okay, and then last week he went even further and just bringing out more information. Okay, go and check those things out. Put that information up there so they'll know the time it is. The Power Hour Plus. This is the lost Native Latins and Blacks. That's the name of the program. Okay, the Power Hour, the Plus edition. That's what we're talking about. It comes on Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, so get your local listings and tune in. The show is absolutely the bomb. Brothers and sisters, you got to get hip to it. Okay, and it's a beautiful thing to see how the Most High is working to get that unity of Northern and Southern Kingdom together. See that's the whole point right there.
Indeed.
Okay,
yes,
so the Most High is really making some moves happen. So just keep that in mind. Go back to where we was at.
We're at Psalms chapter 133 verse 1.
Come on.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
To dwell together in unity, in order, in structured order. That's what it's talking about. Okay, unity. Speaking the same thing. Give me Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. Is that what I want? 1 Corinthians 1 and 10?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing.
That's camp. That's what that's talking about. That's organization. That's unity there, that you all speak the same thing. Captain Joshua said something that just couldn't leave my brain. Mm-hmm. He said, how in the world you going to leave the organization and then, quote unquote, go and teach the same thing? Mm. What kind of sense does that make?
Don't make
that
no
was
sense.
Absolutely bugged out.
You might as well have stayed.
Exactly. Right. That's exactly what he said. Go watch the show because that makes no sense. You're going to try to manufacture some reason to leave, and then you're going to go to do the same thing. Wow. And don't get me wrong. We ain't mad. If this is too much for you, leave. Go. Do your thing. But I'm just saying, don't try to make it look like like there was something wrong with the organization. Just tell the truth. You got tired. You couldn't take it no more. I understand that. We've been seeing this from the very beginning. So this is nothing new to me, particularly. This is nothing new to me. This is nothing new to Bishop, the deacons. We've seen this. We've seen this going all periods throughout time. We've seen this. I mean, I'm even talking about back in the old school. We've seen this. So this is nothing new to me. Huh?
The
revolving door. This always happens. Okay. Read.
That ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you.
That there be no divisions among you. This is really something. Whatever little squabble you might have between each other, you'll use that as a reason to leave, but you will wait 2 hours. You will wait the whole night waiting in front of a store to buy a pair of Nike shoes. Sleeping in your car and all of that. And you spend whatever price they charge, you do that.
Right.
But to try to work with your brothers, you're going to want to do that. I mean, come on now. I ain't going to even entertain this thing anymore. 'Cause somebody might think I really care that people bounce. So let me get off that.
Yeah. Lean back, as
somebody
you say,
be like, "That he sound like he saw him." Nah, I ain't saw it all, man. I've been seeing this doggone thing since the 90s, bro. Come on. Read that Corinthians again.
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you.
That there be no divisions among you, meaning unity, meaning order, discipline. That's what we're talking about. Is that it? Is there more?
But that ye be perfectly joined together.
That ye be perfectly joined together. This goes into endeavoring. Hold that. Give me the endeavoring scriptures. We're going back to that because that's what it means, that ye be perfect. You make sure you stay there, Eliakim, because I need to put those two together. That ye be perfectly joined together. Read that again. Over there in the perfectly joined. Read that.
And that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
Perfectly joined together takes work. That's the point that I'm bringing out. To be perfectly joined together, because we're not perfectly joined together when we first come in. Understand what we're bringing out. When people first come into this truth, they're not perfectly joined together at all. There's all kinds of demons and spirits that's in brothers, that's in sisters. But it takes work to become perfectly joined together.
That's right.
That's the endeavoring that we're about to read. Read that over here with the endeavoring.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 3.
Coming up with these lame excuses. Read.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace.
Endeavoring, meaning work. Work to make a more perfect union among your brethren. You'll understand that from your civics classes and your government classes in school and all of that. To form a more perfect union, the preamble and all that other stuff, right? Read that again.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit.
Endeavoring means work. Working towards that perfect unity that we was reading about in Corinthians. Go ahead.
In the bond of peace.
In the what?
In the bond of peace.
Bond is discipline. Because if there's no discipline to keep peace, there won't be any peace. But if we understand that there is a bond that keeps us peaceful, that's where the discipline comes in. So we are disciplined to keep peace. If we are disciplined to practice Matthew 18 so you can understand. It's discipline to apply the laws to one another because we might not want to. But the bond is the discipline that I must practice in order to endeavor to keep the unity. That's the point. So whenever there's an issue with my brother, an issue with my sister, and we got aught with each other, it's my duty. It's my discipline. It's my bond. It is my endeavoring. It is my yearning to work perfectly to make amends with my brother, to make amends with my sisters. Read it again.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace.
Endeavoring to keep the unity. Endeavoring to keep the spirit of unity.
There it is.
Come on.
There is one body.
There is one body. You hear this? There is one body. I'm talking about leaving the body and go do something else. The Bible said there's one body.
Right.
People act like we just elected to do this. This is of the Lord what you see happening, brothers and sisters. IUIC is of the Lord. All of us came from different walks of life, and God says, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. That's where we came from. IUIC wasn't always in existence. God made that thing happen. Okay? And it was out of righteousness that the Most High brought it. That's the reason why the Lord is blessing us. He's blessing IUIC. Although we have many people that's trying to upset God's plans, it ain't going to happen. This is the movement that God is working with. Okay? And just like Captain said, this ain't no time to be acting crazy.
Right.
Falling out the truth. People falling out, fornication, lying, doing all kind of craziness. This ain't the time for that. You see the prophecies of the Most High coming to pass left and right. This is not the time. But maybe it is the time for you to get off. Maybe it is the time for you to jump off the ship so you can burn. I get it. No problem. Where we at?
Verse 4, D. There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in me. In one hope of your calling.
So the Most High has called us to do this work. Go back to where you was at, Eliakim.
1 Corinthians.
This is all of the Most High. Come on.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you.
That you be no divisions among us. Go ahead.
But that ye be perfectly joined together.
That's where the endeavoring comes in. That's where we work out our differences. That's where we work together to ward off the demons that impede us from being proper brothers. Read.
In the same mind.
In the same mind. Go ahead. Media wants to break this up. False media wants to break this up. Go ahead.
And in the same judgment.
And in the same judgment. We all see the scriptures the same way. That's what God is looking for. The same way that the media works for white supremacy, they do everything in the same judgment. That's how they do. You wonder why only thing we get is jail time. No matter what, we get jail time. And they all believe in that. You get blackballed by one company or whatever, they all follow suit. You mess up, you can't do this, you can't do that. Everywhere you go, you got that judgment on your record that says, don't do this with him or don't do this with her. How come they ain't got no issues?
Right.
Because they understand. It's amazing. The nations understand unity better than we do. We are wicked as hell. That's exactly the reason. Right, exactly.
They endeavor
to keep the unity. And that's what they do. They're perfect at it. They ain't going to go against their own. We're going to show you that, too. We got some articles. We got some stuff for you. You know how we do. Okay?
And the thing is, they endeavoring to keep the unity amongst themselves,
right?
And yet endeavoring to destroy us and keep us torn apart and separated.
That's exactly what's going on.
They on one accord.
They on one accord. They understand that. They understand that thing. Give me Genesis. Let me show you the accord that they on. Give me Genesis. Genesis about Esau's blessing. I think it's 27.
Yes, sir.
Give me that.
Genesis.
They all believe in this.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said,
what did 38 say?
Verse 38. And Esau said unto his father.
Yeah, we got to get him. Don't leave him out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father?
Jacob and Esau. Okay, he says what? And what? Who said what? Read it again.
And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father?
Don't you have one blessing for me, my father Isaac? Come on.
Bless me, even me also.
I mean, Jacob. Yeah, Isaac, because this was Esau and Jacob. Right. Yes, read it again.
And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
He wanted that blessing. Let's see the blessing that he got. And let's see if all of the rest of the Edomites believe in this same blessing. Read.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
And so the fatness, meaning their riches is going to be in the best places. That's what he's saying. Read that again.
But thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Your dwellings, where you end up, is going to be at the fatness of the earth, the greatest places. You're going to take those areas. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
And of the dew of heaven, the beautiful skies, trees, all that, the beautiful waters. That's what they do. Go ahead.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
And by murder, by being a natural born killer, is how they're going to live. And they all agree with that. Go ahead.
And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
So you see how Esau gets down? Esau is about killing and taking and robbery. And all of the Edomites are in unity with that. Okay, even the ones that speak against it, like, because there's a scripture that talks about they shall fall. Give me that, Job, since I touched it. Job 64.
Psalm 64.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Psalm 60. You know what I want. Psalm 64, and I think it's 8, right? Come on with it.
Psalms chapter 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves.
Now, we're going to go through some videos, and we're going to go through some articles that's going to show just what we just read here. Read that again.
So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves.
So the correlation of why I brought this scripture in conjunction with what we just read in Genesis is to show you that although the Most High is causing their tongue to fall upon the sword, meaning that they're going to bring out facts about their own evil, but do they agree with that evil? Yes. Because they, as much as they're talking, I'm going to make my proof. If they let's say they're going to stand up for God. They're going to stand up for our brothers and sisters in Panama. They're going to stand up for our brothers and sisters over here who had his land taken from them. Okay? And they all talking about something. We love the Native American Indians. We love this. We love that. Why don't you give them the land back? Which one of you is willing to give your own riches up for them?
Well.
Okay, exactly. Well, we didn't really mean that. I mean, we want to just sound like liberals, but we don't really. But what's wrong with you? I have to tie my own shoelaces. Right. What is the matter with you guys?
They'll be saying, "Who raised you?
Who raised you?" Okay, Lord have mercy. Yeah, get me back to that Psalms, man. We got that. This is what they are about. So they are unified in making sure that we stay on the bottom. Okay? You mean to tell me Esau going to trade the ghettos? You said he talking about he loves you. He talking about putting Planned Parenthood in your neighborhood and all that. Will he go live in the ghettos and let you live in them suburbs and them big colonial homes and all of that? Hell no.
He said, no, I've been blessed with the fatness of the earth.
With the fatness, and they all agree with that. All of them.
That's that Chris Rock joke. He said the white man said, "You want to switch places with me?"
Hey, yo, ain't that man? That was funny as hell. That was funny. In case some of y'all don't know what he's talking about, Chris Rock got some money, and he said he'll see a bum, so-called white man bum on the street, and he'd be like, "Hey, I'm Chris Rock." He said, "Why don't we trade places?" The white man will look at him, and he's a bum living in the street, eating out of garbage cans and all that. A 2-time loser. And he'll look at Chris and he'll be like, "You're rich and all that, but you know what? I'm going to ride this white thing on out." So you can keep that black stuff. Black with money is nowhere near the value of me being a white bum living up under the bridge.
Oh, have mercy. Wow.
Lord have mercy. Wow. Jesus. Go ahead, man. Where we at?
Still in Psalms chapter 64, verse 8.
Yeah, come up. Give me back to Psalms 133.
Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
It's beautiful with the Most High that we dwell together in unity, to dwell together in organization, structured, different offices, businesses, these things that we do among ourselves, schools, hospitals. All of the things that we could do for ourselves. The Most High said that's beautiful. The scriptures, when it's, because somebody might say, "What do you mean hospital? We can't do that." Yeah, I know how our people, I tell you, our people got this messed up mind. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Unbelievable. And then when people see us doing what we're doing, they think we sold out. That's how small our brain is. They'll look at us and say, "Why they all wearing purple shirts? That's Illuminati." We just can't come and think to come together with the commandments of the Most High. It's amazing. Right. It's amazing. We're right. We got to be sell out. Esau could build buildings. He could do all kind of stuff. There's no problem. But when we do it, all of a sudden, we wicked, we sold out, we this, we that. The Negro, brother, I tell you, that's a creation that's scary. I don't want to see I don't want to even go near that lab where they produce them things. Where you at?
Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
To dwell together in unity, in order. It's structured order. Matthew 5:14. Read that. Matthew 5:14.
Did you go into 64 at 8?
Yeah, I did that already. I'm done with that. Thank you.
Matthew chapter 4, verse what?
No, chapter 5. Chapter 5, verse 14, I think it is.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world.
You Israelites are the light of the world. We're supposed to be Israelite. How come we're surprised when they see greatness come from us? You say that you believe in the Bible. You say that you're an Israelite. You say that you're the chosen. So when you see the chosen do things like what we're about to read, how's it that we sold out? You're a bunch of hypocrites. You're a bunch of demons and liars that do not believe the Bible, period.
Exactly, because they don't believe they don't believe that they are the greatest, because if they did, they know they can do great things.
Exactly. Read.
Ye are the light of the world. A city that is
a what?
A city.
A what?
A city.
That's the structure. That's the organization. The city involves many facets of operations, so you can understand. You have schools. I read this because we're talking about hospitals, talking about businesses and different things that a city has. Infrastructure, irrigation systems. What is wrong with getting these things for us? We're doing it on a small scale. We got our pantries. We got our different policies and things to help fortify the body. But that's on a small scale. There's so much work left to be done, and we believe that we can do it. We have no doubt. The hell is this? The Most High gonna cause the sperm and the egg to meet for me to be born and for me to come into this world and do nothing? No. Like a coach used to tell us, you have men among us that was about BS. And he said, look at you, your mothers and fathers laid down for nothing. In other words, a waste of time, a waste of sperm and egg. You was born in this earth, make something out of your damn life.
Right.
Being a damn scared Negro. Read it again.
Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on an hill.
The Most High said that we are a city, which involves all kinds of things. Carpenters, electricians, cooks, doctors, nurses, seamstress, teachers, city.
Right.
Who's saying this? The Most High, Christ, and Christ. Read.
A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid.
It cannot be hid. So that's the reason why the Most High going to push this to the absolute forefront in spite of the media's objective to shut this down. It ain't going to happen. And when I say the media's objective, that's just what you see. But we know that there's many arms of white supremacy working behind it to try to stop this movement, including Negroes, including black folk. Black folk fit this. They are part of this white supremacy agenda, whether they know it or not. Okay? Zephaniah 2. You had something, officer?
I was just going to say, you give a Negro a couple of dollars, ain't no telling what he'll do.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, too,
I
kept hearing that point, the city, when you think about the city, that's where everybody at some point in time, whether they want to or not, they have to go to the city. Because there's a lot of value there in the city to take care and handle business, to get resources or information that we need to take back other places or back to our homes to be successful. So it's a city. It's a big deal about that city there.
It's a big deal. The Most High got it in the Bible for a reason.
Exactly.
We're supposed to mimic, and we're supposed to bring life to the scriptures that's in the Bible. We're supposed to bring life to the words. You ain't supposed to be like people sitting in churches reading,
moaning and groaning.
Ye shall be. No, life is supposed to come from this Bible.
Right.
You're supposed to materialize the information in here. Read.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So the Most High said that we are the saints to be gathered together. Now he's also saying, but you saints are not desired in this world, but I'm gathering you unto me. You're not desired in that world. Come to me and let me organize you. Let me set you up. Only thing I need you to do is keep my commandments in my organization. Yes, I'm using that word, organization, because that's what it is. That's what this is. The Most High's organization, organized. Unity is organization. That's what the Most High is doing. Okay, Negroes scared of revolution. When I say revolution, they think we're talking about getting some bats and guns and all that. The revolution is in your mind. Change from being a Negro to a God that the Most High is telling you men to be, to stand up. This beta male mentality got to go, man. Okay, the Most High is bringing up real men that's going to do what this Bible says they're going to do. Read it again.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
The Most High said, O nation, meaning all 12 tribes, the nation of Israel that's not desired. Go ahead. So that was it, right? Yeah, that's all I need. Give me Sirach 25:1, because we're getting ready to move into our articles. Sirach 25:1. Let's read that. So the Most High said, gather. You know what? Go back to that Zephaniah. Let's get a little bit more in there.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse, you want verse 2?
Yes, come on.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth.
The Most High said for us to gather together before he brings the destruction. That's what he's talking about. Gather together before he destroys us. So there is no compromising in this. There is no choice. This is not an elective like you take electives in school. This is a requirement for your life. That's a commandment. The Most High said, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. People acting like that's an elective. That's a commandment that we must do. That is a commandment from God. Read.
Before the day pass as the chaff.
In other words, if you don't obey my commandment, I'm going to kill you when I bring the day to the end, when I bring the destruction. That's what he's talking about. Read.
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
What has to happen before the fierce anger of the Lord come? It means for us to gather together. So that is a commandment. A commandment. You must do this before the destruction comes. Read.
Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Before the day of the Lord's anger. Why is his anger going to come? Because you refuse to come together. That's why. That's what the Most High is saying. You refuse to gather together in an organized nation. The Most High is telling you, oh, nation not desired. The Most High said, I'm going to set you in order before their eyes. Everybody going to see the order of the Most High. Here we in the city. We're going to leave the city and going to start from scratch. Foolishness. And the city's still here. I can understand if the school disappeared. The school is still here. The nation is still here.
Deacon, last time.
And the reason why I'm saying that, because I had some idiots that try to compare what some of these dudes did, try to compare it to the One West situation as if they were there. The Negroes weren't there. They don't know nothing about that. 1995, One West was done. There was no One West after that in terms of the truth. After that, it died. It became a mess after that. Okay, so get it straight. Get the history straight. You ones that talking about you know something. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
You said that it's a commandment. The word gather, last time I checked, is a verb.
Exactly.
So that means you have to do it.
Exactly.
So if God tells you to do something, that means that it is a law.
Exactly. That's the point right there. That's it.
So
but I keep the commandments. Yeah, real.
You don't keep the commandments because oh, I'm sorry, Cap.
No, go ahead.
There's 5 categories of laws, and one of them is the civil law. But if you off to yourself because you don't want to obey the commandment of gather together, there's a whole section of the whole Bible that you never even have any experience with.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing, like, and you right on point. You in the spirit. The unity was gone.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
left, went out the door.
Exactly. And that's the point right there. Sirach 25:1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 1. In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before God and men. The unity of brethren.
The unity of brethren is the organized nation. The unity of brethren, meaning for us to endeavor. Whatever issues that we have to employ the discipline, the endeavoring, what was that other word that said that we may be perfectly joined together?
In the bond of peace.
And the bond, thank you. And the bond of peace, meaning the discipline that's required for us to be in unity and to remain in unity. Read it again.
In 3 things I was beautified.
In 3 things was God beautified. Go ahead.
And I stood up beautiful both before God and men.
And stood up beautiful before God and man. So man was beautified and God was beautified when we acknowledge what we're about to read. Come on.
The unity of brethren.
The unity of brethren. That's a beautiful organization right there. Go ahead.
The love of neighbors.
The love of neighbors. If I got an issue with my neighbor, my love for my neighbor is for me to straighten out my issues so that we can continue to endeavor in the bond of peace, not run away. Go ahead.
A man and a wife that agree together.
A man and a wife that agree together. There's issues that you have, with the family, the son, the daughter, whatever it is, work that thing out. That's what the Most High is talking about. It's the bond of peace to fix that situation. This is what's beautiful before the eyes of God and before the eyes of man. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Now give me the 7th verse.
Verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy.
There are 9 things that the prophet judged in his mind that brings happiness. Read.
And the 10th I will utter with my tongue.
But I will tell you about the 10th one. Go ahead.
A man that hath joy of his children.
A man that has joy of his children is a beautiful thing. A man that has, you don't want to see your children all messed up and all torn up. Let me give you an example. A man that has joy with the children. Give me some of that stuff there. Give me them articles on these missing children here. Because when I say had, because we didn't had it, it's still going on. Brothers and sisters don't even realize it. Maybe some do, maybe some don't. But we are still on the campaign looking for our children that is lost, that have missing, just gone missing.
Right.
And they end up in all kinds of foolishness. Look at this thing here. Put that up there. Come on.
Chicopee police looking for missing 16-year-old girl.
Wow. Now, there's a mother that's suffering somewhere to see this kind of mess going on. Back up to the top again. Go ahead. What did it say?
Chicopee police looking for missing 16-year-old. Well, she's a girl.
Yeah, she's missing. Why in the world? So the parents of this missing girl is in heaviness. But what did that Bible say? Go back to that Bible again.
A man that hath joy of his children.
We want to have joy with our daughters. We want to have joy with our sons. We want to have joy with this here. So how are we going to have joy when stuff like this is happening? We have to work together to prevent stuff like this. That's where the bond of peace come in. We have to work together. I see your son doing something wrong or about to get in some car with somebody. It is my job to stop him.
Right.
And I see your daughter getting ready to do some foolishness. It is my job to stop them. That's the love that I have, because I want you to be able to, in the end, to enjoy your children. Go ahead. What else we got?
Missing West Virginia woman found dead in Walmart parking lot.
Could you imagine this? Found dead in Walmart parking lot. Police investigating.
This was somebody's daughter.
This was somebody's daughter. Go ahead. Look at that. Look at this here. Go ahead. Read that thing.
Detectives investigating Randolph's disappearance found her vehicle around 4 p.m. Friday in the parking lot of a Walmart on Hornbeck Road, according to police. Investigators discovered a body in the cargo area of the vehicle. Police said the body was identified as Randolph.
This is horrifying. This is the reason why we do what we do, brothers and sisters. It takes just understand, like the effort that I was talking about earlier. When we go into the communities, when we look for when we put the posters and the flyers up, looking for our sons and daughters that have been just taken away.
Right.
And you don't know, they are getting caught up in all kinds of evil. All kinds of evil. And all kinds of sex rings and all of that kind. That's what's going on with it. Right. That's where these girls are ending up. And the men, the boys too.
Right.
Turned into harlots. That's what's happening to them. And if they disagree or they run away, they kill them. But you don't never see them again. And we're comfortable with that. It takes an organization, so you can understand. That's the reason why I'm bringing this out. It takes an organized community. It takes an organized nation to prevent things like this here. It takes an organized effort to go and look for your people. You by yourself can't go look for nothing. You have to depend on the nation. Come together. That's what the Most High said. In righteousness. If you wicked as hell, stay your behind out there. Now, go back to that Sirach.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue.
Come on.
A man that hath joy of his children.
A man that has joy of his children. That's the one thing that we want to see as men. We want to see our children grow up strong and healthy, because there's a plot to make sure that we don't reproduce. They don't even want us to have children. They don't even want us to have offspring or anything like that. Okay? And whether it's my own seeded child or your children, all of these are my children. And I want to see all of them grow, just like the young brothers that we have in the congregation. I want to see them. The young sisters that grow up in the congregation, I want to see them. I get a joy out of seeing them. When I see them get married, when I see them have children and all that, that's a beautiful thing to me. The last thing I want to see is them in some hospital getting the baby taken out of them and men going to jail and selling dope to each other. We don't need that garbage. That ain't no unity. That's evil. And unity in the spirit of the Most High and keeping the commandments of the Most High, that's what fights against this evil that our oppressors constantly try to bombard us with through this lying false media, fake news, like Trump would say. Y'all got something for me?
I was just gonna say about how they go through so great lengths to come against us. Okay, we are that great that they do whatever they can to stop us from pushing forward.
Yeah, there's a reason for that though. Because they know they're on borrowed time. I understand that. But the fact still remains they are unified. They are unified.
Because of that point, Deep. Because they know first of all, they know their time is short, and they also know that we are great people.
Exactly.
And they know that if they let us alone, then we're going to take over.
Right. Whether they leave us alone or not, the Most High going to speed it up anyway. Okay? Because the Most High is in control of this thing. That's the one that we believe in. Okay?
And Dick, right quick,
yes, sir.
I noticed too when you said children, because we have seen, and you know, you go to different bodies in IUIC and you visit, and you see those children that was once little babies at one time.
Exactly.
And then you see them grow up.
I tell you, I love that.
And because of the unity that they was brought up in, of the mother and the father, the unity of the brother and the sisters, it would allow them to manifest and grow into that.
Exactly.
And we have seen what people have left, and the children just gone and bug out.
They're gone.
They're gone.
I've seen many accounts of that.
Yes,
sad case. I've seen many. I've seen many of these cases where a lot of brothers and sisters that think they know something, they don't have no clue to the people that I'm talking about. I've seen hundreds of people that just fall out of this truth, claim the same thing, and end up on total skid row, spiritual skid row, done.
You're right. Can I read that last part of
I want
Sirach 25 and 7?
Yes, sir. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
That's the point right there. I was coming to that. I wasn't going to leave that out. I wasn't going to leave that out at all. So read the whole verse again. Let's get the whole totality of it.
Sirach chapter 25,
we're supposed
verse
to be
7.
unified in thought with this. Go ahead.
There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children.
A man that has joy seeing the nation of Israel grow. Just like you were saying earlier, I've seen brothers and sisters come in that had drug problems, that had different kinds of spiritual problems, in sexuality, all kind of things, and got themselves together. And to see them come up and get themselves straight and able to marry and bring forth children in righteousness and doing the things that God commanded them to do, that's a beautiful thing to see.
Yes, sir.
I love seeing that thing. Why in the world would I want to stop seeing that?
Right.
I want to be a part of seeing that thing, man.
Right.
Be a part of that thing.
I want to be a part of it, and I want to see it happen. I love when the brothers and sisters come together and they get married and all. I love performing that thing because I see a marriage come together up underneath God to bring forth the nation.
Yes, indeed.
And stop all this hoochie mama foolishness that's going on. Now. So that was it, right? No, read it. Come on.
And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
And it's also a beautiful thing. We are in unity with this love right here. We all want to see the fall of our enemies. That's the unity that the Most High is talking about. Oh, that don't sound like no Christian doctrine there.
I was just about to say
that said, what Bible are you reading?
Oh boy.
and they would say, a Christian would say, that ain't Christian to say.
That ain't right.
Okay, but who wouldn't want us, after all this demon is putting us through?
Right.
Okay. When you pull the wool off, and cause a lot of stuff we don't even know about what they're doing,
right?
Okay, but the stuff that we do know, and how they putting abortion clinics in our neighborhood,
exactly.
You know how they are taking our children off the street and put them on the sex trade, sex trafficking.
Exactly,
exactly.
And got videos of that stuff too. All kinds of different documentaries coming out.
Yeah,
man, I'm telling you, it's some evil going on out there with your young daughters and all of that.
Who don't want to see them fall?
Exactly. Read that again. And then give me one more scripture, then we're going to take the break.
Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue.
Go ahead.
A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
Wait a minute now. Because somebody might think that those two scriptures, why did God put those two scriptures together? Wait. Let's get the butter. Why did God put those two statements together? He says, for a man that, what did it say? A man that get to see the joy of his children and also to get to see the fall of your enemies. Why is the two of those in one verse? I'm going to tell you why. Because if your enemies have not fallen, you will not enjoy your children. You will not get to enjoy your children as long as your enemy has power over you. Read it again.
There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue.
Come on.
A man that hath joy of his children.
So we want to have joy of our children. So if we want to have joy with our children, we also must want to see the fall of our enemies. That the two goes together.
Perfect.
The two goes together. Now give me 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. Because they say, that is not canon. That is not canon.
I mean, they go together, huh, D?
Huh?
They go together.
I can hear. Right. I can hear the preacher now. Listen, that is in the Bible, but that ain't of the Bible.
Oh, pastor.
Yeah.
Have sleep.
Yeah. Go ahead, read.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6.
Come on.
Seeing it is a righteous thing.
In case somebody was bumping their head against what we was reading earlier, to see the fall of your enemies. Oh, that's apocryphal. That's not canon.
How about the New Testament?
Let's get it out the New Testament. Read.
Seeing it is a righteous thing.
No, it's wicked as hell.
Seeing it is a righteous thing.
It is a righteous thing.
With God.
No, with Satan.
With God.
No, with Beelzebub.
With God.
No, with Lucifer.
With God.
With your grandmama.
With God.
With God. Read it again. Read it again.
Seeing it is a righteous thing.
The Most High said it is a righteous thing.
Righteous.
Go ahead.
With God.
With God.
That's
with
unity
God.
right there.
What that got? With God.
Yeah. Colonel Thomas.
Go ahead. With God. Go ahead.
Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
There you go, brothers and sisters. I hope you like that thing there.
Who giving you hell?
Right, exactly. Give them some tribulation. The Most High says it's a righteous thing.
Right.
Okay? So come on with it. Let's go. We're going to the break, brothers and sisters. We'll be back after these words, and we're going to continue on with our program. Most High in Christ bless you all. Stay tuned. We got more for you.
All praises.
could buy guns for like $20 in Chicago, from what I hear.
I mean, for what I hear, the cops drop off boxes of guns in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, they, it's a whole setup. Like, they have access to these guns so easily. And I do think, I wouldn't put it past the cops to be dropping off boxes.
Life is full of obstacles, but how you overcome them is another story. Because at the end of the day, what profit it a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?
What up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I got them things over there.
Nah, man, I ain't taking that route no more. Yeah.
Kooky in the hell, look at us.
Hello?
Dang, you can't call nobody no more?
Look, I told you I'm taking my life in a different direction.
Yeah, I understand all that, but I miss you. We can't work this out?
Look, let's not do this. Because sometimes the only thing between you and the flesh is a day of rest. Hey, shalom, most sacrifice. Happy Sabbath. Hey, good? Happy Sabbath, Israel.
People and for the sanctuary. We're fighting for the hearts and minds of our people that do not yet know who they are. But we are their champions. We are their superheroes, so to speak. Believe that. We're serious. Ain't no laughter. We ain't got time for shucking and jiving. We got issues going on with the nation of Israel. Our young men are so starved for leaders. And the mother recognizes that we have no stars, that we have no leaders, that we have no superheroes. And because of that absence of an image, all kinds of psychological destruction has permeated the brains of our people.
To be honest with you, but pay attention. Sons of God!
Yeah. Us against the world, look what we deserve. War against our soul, it's a God we serve. Yeah. Us against the world, us against the world. Working for that kingdom come, look out to observe. Us against the world, dragging what we heard. Ain't no stopping in, 7,000 on reserve. Yeah. Us against the world, us against the world. Us against the world, us against the world.
Us against the world, overcoming all the odds. We go for the gusto. Ain't salute to the God and the captain of the host. The angels we trust. It's a war for your soul. Army of the living God. They see us from order. They do the formation.
All praise to the Most High, brothers and sisters. We're back. We're going to get right into it. Now I want to turn up the heat a little bit, and we're going to get into the media and how the media uses propaganda. Let me just put it that way. Uses propaganda to fortify their agenda and at the same time to destroy the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm going to go into a video. Perhaps some of y'all may know about it. I tend to go and grab things from several decades ago to bring to your attention, to bring to your knowledge. It's a rather important thing. As I was remembering, I was listening to Captain Yashua's program when he had the brother from the Brown Berets on, and he was making a point about the people decades ago had a much sharper mind in terms of revolutionary thinking and about community organizing and things of this nature. Today, all the thing they're about is TikTok, video games, that Nike sneakers and colorful this foolishness. Right. That's the majority of what's going on now because our people have been almost completely dumbed down and homified. That's pretty much so the media have succeeded. The agenda against our people on a large scale have really succeeded in destroying our men primarily, okay? And once the men are destroyed, the women are just commodities for any other nation to use. And to put in her head that she could recreate the nation without her man is ridiculous. And they'll end up telling her that she's having a black child when every other nation is piping their children through her. And she run around talking about she's bringing back the nation of Israel. She ain't bringing back nobody but their seed. That's what's happening, okay? So, and this is facts. This is not to put anything down. Oftentimes, people hear us bring out issues like this. Say, why are you going to be saying stuff so harsh and saying stuff like, you have to understand that whenever we are in a dire situation, okay, you have to get the medicine to fix the problem. As a matter of fact, I'll use this analogy. I heard Dick Gregory say this, the comedian. A lot of people don't really understand his revolutionary spirit, especially during the 70s. A lot of people probably don't even know too much about that era. Brother was on point. He made a point and he said, if you were a doctor and I came to you with a brain tumor, and you telling me how good my lips look, how good my eyes and my skin look, that ain't going to save me. You got to deal with the problem of the tumor that I got. We have a tumor in our nation, okay? So when I mention things that seem to be upsetting and don't give you the quote-unquote good features, I don't need to tell you about the good features. You need to know about that cancer that's going to come and take them good features out. The cancer that's going on with our nation is the stuff that I'm speaking about, okay? So when I get on my sisters, and when I get on my brothers, when I get on my people, it's out of love because I want you to understand that it's serious business that we have to get ourselves together and do what the Most High commands us to do so that we can fulfill Sirach 25:7. We want to see that thing with our brothers and our sisters, okay? So now, like I said, I want to go into some decade-old history. Involving how the media operates. This is concerning the invasion of Panama, okay? There's a documentary out here that is called The Panama Deception. I'm going to play some excerpts from it, and I'm going to bring out some information about how the media gets down, okay? I want y'all to pay close attention to the stuff that you're going to hear in this. Many of y'all probably don't even know what I'm about to show, but some of our old heads, we probably remember this information, and while it's going on, I'll be giving some tidbits to help spark your interest, okay? Let's play it. I got it set up. This is the Panama Deception. One of the hosts that was used to narrate the video was Elizabeth Montgomery, the girl that used to play Bewitched, okay? Edomite. But she's in this because her mind, like we was reading earlier, they're going to bring out the information, bring out the truth. You understand? But still, they're not going to give up their lap of luxury for you so-called Negroes. But nevertheless, the information is good, so we'll take it. Let's play it. Okay? Panama Deception, you got me at my cue points. I want y'all to pay attention to what we're looking at. This is a documentary that involves Noriega, who was the leader over the PDF, or the Panamanian Defense Force, in Panama. This is dealing with the Panama Canal. That's what this whole thing was about. There's a whole lot of other things that was going on during that time. You had the drug situation that was coming out. You had the Iran-Contra hearings with Reagan and all that. All that stuff was going on before this time and during this time. So let's get into it. Hit it.
Of course, he's not going to say that that Panama is occupied. In fact, he might not even call it.
Now let me explain what's happening here, because I don't know if many of y'all saw this or not. Put this face back on the screen. Back it up a little bit, because I want to get a little bit before that. This man that y'all looking at right here, his name is Endara. He was sent over there. He was educated by America, and he was sent to rule the Panamanian people. Okay, they put him there because they wanted to do what they wanted to do with the treaties. The treaty involved the Panama Canal. That's what this whole thing is about. But it's going to show you how evil and wicked the media is. Just pay attention. So this is Endara, this Edomite that was educated by Esau and put there to be the new president, which is illegal. Because they actually had an election, a quote unquote election. America influenced a foreign election. That's supposed to be illegal. So let me leave that alone. Play the video. Come on with it.
It's not really an occupation.
Of course, he's not going to say that that Panama is occupied. In fact, he might not even call it an invasion. Cousin is kind that were killed or massacred. He lives in the nicer area, in the oligarchical area.
She works, this is Esmeralda Brown. She works at the United Nations Methodist office. That's who this, in case the information was covered up. That's the reason why I'm saying it. Go ahead. She's critiquing what y'all just saw with Endara. Go ahead.
And, his interest was protected. He's not running Panama. He's a puppet of the U.S. government. The U.S. government is running Panama. They're running all of the ministries in Panama. He's only abiding by what he's told to do.
The Bush administration claimed that another reason for the invasion was to remove Noriega in order to stem the flow of drugs into the United States. But according to a U.S. General Accounting Office report, cocaine traffic through Panama may have doubled in the 2 years following the invasion.
Stop. Did y'all hear that? Yes, sir. So they said that the reason why the media made him out to be a demon and said that we got to go get this narco terrorist, blah, 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 when in reality, there's a whole lot of information behind this. Yeah. In reality, they needed to get him out the way because basically Noriega told America to kiss his ass. That's what happened. He got a certain amount of power, and he told America to go to hell. And they like, listen, we put you in there. You going off now. We can't have that. We got to go in there and teach you a lesson. We got to manufacture some evil to take your ass out. That's basically what it was. And at the same time, we're going to get the treaty. Y'all going to find out about that, in case y'all don't know. We're going to get to that. Back it up a little bit. Let it play on.
Through Panama may have doubled in the 2 years following the invasion.
See, there's so much information to bring out in there. They said now they said they're going after Noriega because he was bringing dope to the Americas. But when they got him out of the way, dope doubled.
Right.
Why did it double? And look at the years that this was happening. What year was this?
Was it like 1989?
Right. This is right, exactly. In the 90s, New York, dope everywhere, crack, you name it. They was all over the place. Okay? It was all over the place because the dope was coming in big time.
So he basically was in the way of
money. He was in the way of it. He was in the way of it.
So now we can operate like
now we can do what we want to do to kill these prophets that's coming up. That's the whole objective was to keep this from coming up.
To poison Israel.
To poison Israel. Because they knew. They read the scriptures. They read the Bible. Give me that. Revelation 12. We come back to the video. I know already I ain't going to get all of this in. We got a whole lot of information. So you definitely going to be, next week is going to be the final, episode of this series. So I got to get it in. I'm going to get as much as I can get tonight. You got it? 12 and 12.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 12.
Is it 12 and, read that and then give me 7. Yeah, 12 and 12. That's what I want. Read.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you.
For the devil is come down onto the Israelites bringing in dope. I need to bring the dope in because I know that I have a short time because you Israelites are waking up. The Israelites are coming to speaking on the street. In the 90s, we was out there. So all the dope was coming in while we teaching to put Israel to sleep. Go ahead.
Having great wrath.
Having great wrath. Come on.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because Satan, the so-called white man, the devil, the natural born killer, knows that he has but a short time. Okay? Now, let's get back to the video. That's why this is happening. Come on. So they said it was after him.
But according to a U.S. General Accounting Office report, cocaine traffic through Panama may have doubled in the 2 years following the invasion. There is also considerable evidence that key members of Panama's new government, including President Endara, have been tied to the drug trade through banks and front companies that launder drug money.
Hold it. Back up. Because I'm going to mention something. We looking at the part here, back it up a little bit, right there at the table. Let's get all them crooks.
Including President Endara, have been tied to the drug trade through banks and front companies that launder drug money.
I was distracted. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. Let's back it up again. Because there's something I want to say to this. All right, start from right there. Listen.
There is also considerable evidence that key members of Panama's new government, including President Endara, have been tied to the drug trade through banks and front companies that launder drug money.
Stop. I couldn't let that go by. All those crooks and criminals sitting there at the table was involved in laundering dope money. They got lots of documentaries out here that talk about that. Okay? The name of the bank was called BCCI. They dubbed it. There's a name that, because I forgot what the real name of it means, BCCI. But we learned about it, and it was called Bank of Crooks and Criminals Incorporated. But the real name of the bank was BCCI. That was what they were laundering their dope money through. Right. Okay? So all these cats was doing this. This was the contra hearings, all that. Wow. It was connected into this. When you go back and check the records. When you had Oliver North, what was this other guy named Poindexter, and I think some other cat named Meese, Ed Meese or something like that. All of these dudes was connected in the Iran-Contra getting the weapons to the Contras. While at the same time, them same planes was bringing dope to this country. Now, go ahead. I'm talking too much.
Have been tied to the drug trade through banks and front companies that launder drug money.
The involvement of the Panamanian economy as a whole in drug trafficking, arms running, various questionable banking practices.
You heard him say arms running. The arms running was the Contras. That's what he was telling. That's letting you know that's connected with that. Go ahead.
Arms running, various questionable banking practices, in fact, involve most of the Panamanian elite, involve most of the people who now run this new U.S.-approved Panamanian government.
Endara and Ford.
U.S. approved.
We all know.
The proof, the stamp, a seal, a proof, the stamp of approval.
Yeah. Y'all okay?
Yeah.
Deacon.
Yeah.
You know what else they approve? You know what this reminds me of?
Go ahead.
The Bush administration with Iran.
Yeah.
They say, give them all them AK-47s,
right,
and then we'll shoot them on TV,
right,
and have them holding them up, and then we're going to say they're dangerous so we can go in and take all the orders.
They had their hands in that, too.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Big time. Big time. When there was certain brothers and sisters, y'all need to go back and watch this documentary if you have not seen it. There's a section in there where the people was in the streets arguing, right? There was a dispute that was going on, and they took a clip of it, meaning with their cameras, put it on the American news, and said that the fighting was about fighting against Americans. So that gave them the right to come in, and it had nothing to do with that. but they crystallized it. That was the word they used. They crystallized it and made you think that it was about goons attacking. Yeah, exactly. The media. That's the point. Y'all get ready to find out how dirty this media really is. That's why I'm playing this clip. Okay? Gagged. I'm going to talk about good gagged. Go ahead.
And Panamanians know that they are the real drug traffickers. They have been, because Panama have had an history of the oligarchy being involved in drug trafficking.
In the years preceding and throughout the invasion, the U.S. government and the major media consistently portrayed Manuel Noriega as America's most hated and evil enemy.
Hey, that's what they say about us.
Right. Exactly.
Go ahead.
General Noriega became a mythic figure. There was an attempt to personify in Noriega all that was evil. It was very interesting that when General Noriega, when his office was captured, we discovered the red pajamas, the voodoo equipment, and the alleged cocaine that he was using, and the pornographic pictures in his desk. Now, I happen to have been in Chile with the United Nations at the time of the overthrow of President Allende. And it's interesting that that same desk appeared in Chile with the pornographic pictures, the red pajamas, and the cocaine.
Wow.
You saw that book, didn't you?
Stop.
Mercy.
They put the book so big. Did y'all hear what this man just said?
Wow.
He said basically the same. Yeah, well, they showing Adolf Hitler books and all of that. But the point that the man said, I don't want y'all to miss what was just said. He said that earlier he saw the same reel used for another quote-unquote dictator in Chile.
Wow.
So in other words, they took that footage and said, oh, it worked on this guy before. Now we're going to use it on this one. Because who knows? Like you were saying earlier, they don't care.
They probably used it for Gaddafi too.
But you get the point. Exactly. Yeah. So back it up again so you can hear what he's saying. Listen to what this man said. He said it's interesting. He said that same desk, the red pajamas, the pornographic pictures, all of that. He's, in other words, I saw this tape before used on somebody else. So how in the hell is this Noriega's place? I want y'all to get what he's saying. Media. That's the power of media. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Hit it.
Personify in Noriega all that was evil. It was very interesting that when General Noriega, when his office was captured, we discovered the red pajamas, the voodoo equipment, and the alleged cocaine that he was using, and the pornographic pictures in his desk. Now, I happen to have been in Chile with the United Nations at the time of the overthrow of President Allende.
Total different plane.
And it's interesting that that same desk appeared in Chile with the pornographic pictures, the red pajamas, and the cocaine.
The whole propaganda against him was to build up a pretext in order to invade Panama and to say we invaded Panama because of Noriega.
Pause it. Stop. Because I want to get all of what he just said. The word is what? Propaganda. Propaganda. Let's look that word up. Let's go to that word. Let's look that word propaganda, because sometimes you got to look words up. We're coming right back to that clip. I want to get all of that by Chuchu Martinez, that brother that was about to speak. Let's read what it says.
Propaganda. Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature.
In other words, information from an enemy to subvert the minds of people. That was the point. That's what we had among us. We had enemies among us trying to put propaganding information to turn people against IUIC. The same damn tactics, except nickel and dime, because you ain't no real, you ain't on the level of Esau with this kind of stuff, man. Read that thing again.
Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature.
Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, meaning their objective, their plot was to destroy Noriega, meaning, and also, in other words, they use propaganda to win, to get their actual objective. The smokescreen was Noriega. He was the smokescreen. The real reason why we wanted to do why we did it was because we wanted the Panama Canal. So we have to create propaganda. We have to create a smoke bomb so that the people will be drawn to that. He's the beast. He's the devil. He's the this. He's the crafty little one. He's evil, and everybody's following him around. Meanwhile, the real dope pushers was trying to get to the canal. That's the whole point. And that's exactly what happened with us. People was trying to make evil out of this because they couldn't use this body for their real purpose. Come on.
I was just looking at a few of those other words, the brainwashing, the indoctrination, the big lie. Okay?
Yeah.
I was just looking at some of those little words that they throwed in there.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Read the whole thing again.
Information, especially of a bias or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view.
That's what they wanted to do. So they propagandized the whole situation because they wanted to push a point of view to subvert your minds for you to get behind it, make you think that was a righteous cause of what they did down there.
I see you got one of them says spin.
Yeah.
They put a spin on it.
They put a spin on it. Exactly. All right, let's get back to the video. Let's get my man, Choo-Choo. Jose de Jesus Martinez. We got his whole statement. I want to get all of what he said. Okay, hit it.
Cocaine.
The whole propaganda against him was to build up a pretext in order to invade Panama and to say we invaded Panama because of Noriega. I don't know how Americans can be so stupid to believe this. I mean, how can you be so stupid?
Hey, pause it. I'm
it out.
Say right. He was so upset because he can't believe that people are that damn dumb. But when I go to my next video, because I got to get it in there. When I go to my next video, let's see if I got it. You know what? I got to put it behind this one. I didn't even have it marked now. I'll tell you when I get to it. He said that he can't believe that the American people could be so stupid. He can't believe it because he doesn't know. He's not really, he's over there. He doesn't really know the power of Satan through that media. He don't understand the power of Satan, white supremacy, Christianity, and all that. But the American people are totally duped and dumbed down by this media thing. Many of our people are dumbed down over this media stuff. Right. That is a hell of a tool.
And these foreign countries know the evil. Like he can't. A lot of they don't understand how people over here in America actually believe in this stuff that they putting out. But like they're not here. Okay, they're not here, and that just show you that we in the belly of the beast.
Hey, I gotta segue from here. We coming back to this. Remember that point. I gotta hit my man De Jesus again. Give me the video manufacturing consent. So I said something there. Manufacturing consent, because that's exactly what just went down. Y'all got my points?
Yes, sir.
I want the one with the clip. I'll get to the play them. Yeah, give me the clip, the one where I gave you the time frame. We'll come back to this one later. Give me the time frame, because I need that. Manufacturing consent, because my man De Jesus said he can't believe how people could be so stupid. Well, we're going to find out how. Now I'm going to do some talking. Let it rip.
As long as they've been sustained.
Professor Chomsky and a lot of people who engage in this kind of press analysis have one thing in common.
So pause it for a second. Let me explain, because a lot of people might not understand what we're talking about. This is a video put out by this man named Noam Chomsky, so-called Jew, and he's a critic, for lack of a better term, a critic on so-called injustices, so to speak. Something like a philanthropic type of person, kind of thing. You know, he's wrote many books. He got some documentaries out here. Let's play it. Let's get it in.
Things for as long as they've been sustained.
Professor Chomsky and a lot of people.
So now they're going to do a dramatization. Let me explain what's happening here. They're getting ready to do it. What you're about to see, they're using a hospital scene of a person on an operating table. but they're going to use the, I guess, an allegory or some kind of what's the word? I say allegory or something to give you an idea on what they really do with media, with the newspapers. They're going to deal with it like they're putting a patient back together. So let's get that clip again where you saw the X-ray skull and let it roll from there. Okay, hit it. I'm gonna lean back. Try to follow what you see on the screen, brothers and sisters. Come on.
As long as they've been sustained.
Professor Chomsky and a lot of people who engage in this kind of press analysis have one thing in common. Most of them have never worked for a newspaper. Many of them know very little about how newspapers work. When Chomsky came around, he had with him a file of all the coverage in the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other papers of East Timor. And he would go to the meticulous degree that if, for example, the London Times had a piece on East Timor, and then it appeared in the New York Times, that if a paragraph was cut out, he'd compare and he'd say, look, this key paragraph right near the end, which is really what tells the whole story, was left out of the New York Times version of the London Times thing.
There was a story in the London Times which was pretty accurate. The New York Times revised it radically. They didn't just leave a paragraph out. They revised it and gave it a totally different cast. It was then picked up by Newsweek, giving it the New York Times cast. It ended up being a whitewash, whereas the original was an atrocity story.
You can pause it right there.
Wow.
Did y'all get that?
Wow.
That's basically what they do. In the news media, they basically put the real story down there, cut it up, chop it up, and make it into something else totally. That was the analogy of what you just saw there. So that was the deal, you know. So now, play on in that. And no, we coming back to this. I got to come back to this. Play on in my video that what I just had manufacturing consent. There was more in there. There was more in there.
So I said to Chomsky at the time, I said, well, it may be that you're misinterpreting ignorance, haste, deadline pressure, etc., for some kind of determined effort to suppress an element of the story. He said...
Fast forward a little bit. There's a section that I'm looking for. Just skim through it. Let me just skim through it. I'm just trying to get to the main meat. Hold it. Don't move too fast. Move forward. Let me see something. Move forward a little bit. This might be it. Let's. I'm hoping that I gave the right clip. Say it again. Okay, so give me the other video. Maybe it's in that. Maybe it's in the other video. The other video that I sent you. Maybe it's in there. Just bear with me, brother, because I got to get this piece in there. Let's skim through it. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me just hold it before you play it. Just skim through it. Skim the line. Let me just see. There's certain scenes in there I'm looking for. A little further. Yep. I think this is it. Okay, let's play it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Their tongue is falling upon themselves.
Yeah. So basically what I'm showing you, I want you to remember, the reason why I'm going here, because I want you to remember what the brother De Jesus said. He said, how could people be so stupid? I have to find this part of the video because it's going to show you how Americans are so stupefied. Okay? And that media is a powerful demon. Okay? And by the way, that media is a result of organization. And the Most High said for us to fight against that thing by being in unity with his commandments. So I don't want you to forget the point in this. Okay? Okay, we got it? Okay.
Manufacturing consent, that it's the primary function of the mass media in the United States to mobilize public support for the special interests that dominate the government and the private sector. What are those interests?
Well, if you want to understand the way any society works, ours or any other, the first place to look is who is in a position to make the decisions that determine the way the society functions. Societies differ, but in ours, the major decisions over what happens in the society, decisions over investment and production and distribution and so on, are in the hands of a relatively concentrated network of major corporations and conglomerates and investment firms and so on. They are also the ones who staff the major executive positions in the government, and they're the ones who own the media, and they're the ones who have to be in a position to make the decisions. They have an overwhelmingly dominant role in the way life happens, what's done in the society. Within the economic system, by law and in principle, they dominate. The control over resources and the need to satisfy their interests imposes very sharp constraints on the political system and the ideological system.
Control of resources, you heard that.
When we talk about manufacturing of consent, whose consent is being manufactured?
We can, to start with, there are two different groups. We can get into more detail, but at the first level of approximation, there's two targets for propaganda.
Listen.
One is what's sometimes called the political class. There's maybe 20% of the population which is relatively educated, more or less articulate. They play some kind of role in decision making. They're supposed to sort of participate in social life, either as managers or cultural managers, like, say, teachers and writers and so on. They're supposed to vote. They're supposed to play some role in the way economic and political and cultural life goes on. Now, their consent is crucial. One group that has to be deeply indoctrinated. Then there's maybe 80% of the population whose main function is to follow orders and not to think, and not to pay attention to anything. And they're the ones who usually pay the cost.
All right. Professor Chomsky, no.
Pause it. Maybe that slipped by.
Yeah, I heard it.
He said 20%. You have to get 20% of the population to be the teachers and the instructors, the school, the school directors, the college directors, and all of that. The religious leaders, that's what he's talking about. The teachers, the people that form opinions, the people that teach the 80%. You have to get them. I find that striking because years ago, and I should have brought this tape in, and I spoke about it before. You had Bob Law, New York, that was on this program called Night Talk. And he was talking about Harvard University was celebrating their 150th year of what was known, of what they call shaping America. Harvard now. They understood that the function of a university or a college is to shape how one thinks. It's not to educate you per se. It's to shape, to cause you to conform to the agenda. They don't care what you are when you write. They don't care what you were when you came in. When you leave, you will be a Harvard graduate. In other words, you will have a Harvard world point of view, meaning that's what you're going to be. So that's how the 20% affects the 80% that's left. Okay, and that's the job of media. So when Choo Choo, let's go back to the video now. This is why he was trying to understand how could Americans be so stupid, in his words, is because of stuff like this here. Because the consent to agree with that invasion of Panama was a manufactured consent. That was the point. Let's get on in with my brother. Yes, sir. Let's go. Okay, we got to put the title back in there. All right, no problem.
There we go.
Propaganda against him was to build up a pretext in order to invade Panama and to say we invaded Panama because of Noriega. I don't know how Americans can be so stupid to believe this. I mean, how can you be so stupid? Like, for example, at one time, they had Noriega at gunpoint. They could have taken Noriega then, but the Americans didn't want Noriega. What they really wanted is to destroy the Panamanian army in order to do with the treaties what they wanted, which is what's happening now.
Although the U.S. government's reasons for the invasion made no mention of eliminating the Panamanian Defense Forces, U.S. officials later admitted that destroying the PDF was a central part of the plan.
It was not only Mr. Noriega, but his accomplices and underlings who stood for a reprehensible government at the time, and therefore you had to take down not only Mr. Noriega, but take down the elements of his supporting entity in order to reduce the PDF to nothing.
Stop. So I want y'all to understand what's happening here. So the overall objective, although they did not say it, their objective was to destroy the Panamanian Defense Force, the PDF. There's a reason why that was important for them to do. Because when you'll go back and check the record, you had this man named Omar Chorrillos, who the people loved. Let's get the article. Hold on, let's get the article. What is that? It was in, hold on a second. Give me a second. I know I sent it to you. Yeah, that one there. Play that. I mean, let's get that article up there. Come on. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Let's read it. Let's start.
Manuel Antonio Noriega.
Now we're talking about Noriega. Remember what my brother Chucho had said. De Jesus. Go ahead.
Manuel Antonio Noriega Moreno, Spanish pronunciation, Manuel Noriega, February 11th, 1934 to May 29th, 2017, was a Panamanian politician and military officer who was the de facto ruler of Panama.
Who was the de facto ruler of Panama, meaning the American people put him there because he was their man. He was on the payroll, American payroll. Go ahead.
From 1983 to 1989, an authoritarian ruler who amassed a personal fortune through drug trafficking operations.
You see that? So now they're trying to see the demonization is going on right here in print. Right. Go ahead.
He had long-standing ties to United States intelligence agencies before the U.S. invasion of Panama removed him from power.
They removed him from power was because he felt, I got my army, I got my weapons. America could kiss my ass. We're going to do what we want to do. And there was a lot of talk. When you watch that documentary, you're going to see how Noriega was trying to get America out of Panamanian business. So that's what they didn't like. They said, we put you there for you to be the token for us. And here you trying to do things on your own. Go ahead.
Born in Panama City to a poor mestizo family, Noriega studied at the...
Mestizos mean the blacks. Okay. Go ahead.
Noriega studied at the Chorrillos Military School in Lima and at the School of the Americas. He became an officer in the Panamanian Army and rose through the ranks in alliance with Omar Chorrillos.
Right. That's the guy I was talking about earlier. You're going to read. We got something to tell you about him. Go ahead.
In 1968, Chorrillos overthrew President Alfonso Arias in a coup. Noriega became chief of military intelligence.
Now, they made it sound like Chorrillos was an evil man, but the people they loved Chorrillos because Chorrillos was for the people. That's what they didn't put that here. They made you think that he was some wild dictator. Go ahead.
Noriega became chief of military intelligence in Chorrillos' government, and after Chorrillos' death in 1981, consolidated power to become Panama's de facto ruler in 1983.
What death did Chorrillos suffer? His plane was bombed in flight. They killed it. They killed him because he didn't want to dance to the tune. Noriega said, I'm going to dance to the tune. Go ahead.
Beginning in the 1950s, Noriega worked with U.S. intelligence agencies and became one of the Central Intelligence Agency's most valued intelligence sources. He also served as a conduit for illicit weapons, military equipment, and cash destined for U.S.-backed forces throughout Latin America.
So you see that part that says as he served as a conduit for illicit weapons. That was the Iran-Contra scandal with Oliver North, Ronald Reagan, talking about something he don't remember. All that. That's what this is talking about here. They was all working together. But what happened was Noriega got a certain amount of pompousness, and he told America to kiss his ass. And they said, "No, you out of order now. Now we gotta manufacture We got to manufacture some evil, galvanize some consent to get you, and we're going to call you the drug dealer, the this, the that, to take you out. Go ahead.
Noriega's relationship with the U.S. deteriorated in the late 1980s after his relationship with intelligence agencies in other countries came to light. And his involvement in drug trafficking was investigated further.
Go ahead.
In 1988, Noriega was indicted by federal grand juries in Miami and Tampa on charges of racketeering, drug smuggling, and money laundering.
Now, I'm going to stop it here because there's a lot that you can go into. But what I want to say to this here, that Noriega was extradited and he was taken and he had to go to trial. And during his trial, he didn't get to say, they didn't really hit the media. They had a closed trial with him. You didn't get to hear nothing that was really going on there because he was going to talk.
He was gagged.
He was gagged. That's the point. He was gagged. He was going to tell the dirt. And he was going to tell the dirt about what happened. They didn't do him like they did OJ and the rest of it. They put that stuff all on TV. Right. But they did not do that with Noriega. There's a lot of evil behind all this whole thing. Let's go back to the video. Let's finish it up.
One of the objectives of the invasion, main objective, was to destroy the PDF. Why? The treaty, the Panama Canal Treaty, it states clearly that the year 2000, Panama will be responsible for the security, safety of the canal. To be responsible for the safety of a nation, you need to have an army. The elimination, the liquidation of the PDF means the extension, the continuity of the United States present as the only military force in our nation, which historically is the United States position.
So let me explain something. Pause it. We about to finish this thing up. There was a treaty that was drawn up, and the treaty said that by the year 2000, the Panama Canal was supposed to be turned back over to the Panamanian people. That's what the treaty said. It was signed by Carter, Jimmy Carter. That it was supposed to be turned back over to the American people, provided that you have an army to protect it. So by America destroying the army, that null and voided the treaty.
That was the whole agenda.
That was the whole agenda.
That's why he said they had him at gunpoint.
Right, and they let him go.
They let him go.
They let him, because they said, we don't really want you. We just need you to run around and be the little roach and make everybody think you the boogeyman. But in reality, we want that canal. Now, give me the Bible now. Shoot. Genesis. Genesis 49.
Genesis chapter 49.
Give me the verse.
Verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships.
The ships is where the Panama Canal is. So that's Zebulun, the tribe of Zebulun. That's who's down there. Okay, the Bible tells you that. Give me the first verse.
Verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So in the last days, the tribe of Zebulun, the majority of them was going to be at that area called the Panama Canal. That is the safety, so you can understand, the haven of ships. That's where the Panamanians, which are the tribe of Zebulun, that's where they're at. Okay. More information on that, by the way, on IUIC TV. We got the whole series of the 12 tribes breakdown. Bishop did it all over again with color, with everything. Got all the information in there, all the information and all that break these tribes down all the way to the T. Okay, so the information is in there. All right, so it's the 12 tribes breakdown. It's on IUIC TV. You can tune in and pull that video up. I think it's up by now. If not, I'll confirm that. But I think it's up now. So we did it several years ago. But anyway, that information is out there. So this right here correlates with also what's written in the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. Also, it also correlates with what we read in the Apocrypha. Now I'm gonna go back to my video. Also in the Apocrypha with Second Ezra's 13 verse 40 on down. Those are the 10 tribes that came over to the Americas. Okay, so Zebulun was one of them, and the Most High said that they would be at the haven for ships. Okay, that's the tribe of Zebulun there. So let's get back to the video. Okay, so that haven of ships, meaning that canal area is a crucial point, because if you whoever controls that point there, you charge for all the ships that got to come through there. Because if you ain't coming through there, you got to go all the way down to South America to get to the side. You got to come all the way down. So having that little shortcut to go through the canal is a heavy deal. Okay, so whoever controls that, you good to go. So they say, you Panamanians, you ain't going to control this. We got to find a way to get this thing back. Watch that video, the Panama Deception. You'll learn a lot in that thing. Play on.
What they really want is to stay in Panama after the year 2000. And that is what they have achieved. To destroy the Panamanian Defense Forces, to impose a government complacent with U.S. interests, and to make Panama the control center for all of Latin America.
The invasion sets the stage for the wars of the 21st century.
Stop. You heard what he said?
Wow.
And that's exactly what you see now. So this stuff that's happening now did not just come out of a vacuum. All of this stuff, all of what you see going on now, there's certain stuff that we can't even say.
Right.
But that's part of the deal. Huh? Here you got a humanitarian, basically, I ain't going to call them names because I know they're ready to hit the shutdown button. So I got to be careful. Huh? Can you dig it? Because we're going to get gagged.
Right.
Huh? At one point, he was complaining about world population. Now he got a vaccine for you. Right. So, okay, I said that. I know I'd have messed up. I should have said that thing. Damn.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Right.
Right. Too many people, like that article, too many people on earth, but now we're going to save everybody.
And bold about it, too. And bold about it. They didn't care if people would figure it out. That's how bold these demons are. They ain't worried about how if you figured out what they got going on or not. They don't even care. They're just going on with their agenda.
Right. If you're that 80%, you're supposed to be dumb, don't know what's going on.
Right,
anyway.
exactly. And that's exactly where people are. Let's play on in this thing.
South America. The 2,000-mile invasion from Washington to Panama City took place primarily with bases from the United States. The essential value of the Southern Command is to give another 2,000 miles of intervention capability, which takes us right into the heart of the Andean coca-producing region, where the wars of the next decade are entirely likely to take place.
Panama is another example of destroying a country to save it. And it's another case of how the United States has exercised a might make right doctrine among the smaller countries of the Third World. It has long been U.S. practice to invade these countries, get what we want, and leave the people that live there to kind of rot.
Our country has been ruined, our homes have been destroyed, and we still have no real answers. So what's left but to take to the streets? Since we didn't lose our lives in the war, we're willing to risk them fighting for our rights.
George Bush, may his children be spared what my daughter is being subjected to. My daughter who doesn't want to live. May his generation be spared what our generation is living through. He should ask God for forgiveness for all the damage caused to many families down here.
Right.
One year ago, the people of Panama lived in fear under the thumb of a dictator. Today, democracy is restored. Panama is free.
Wow. That ain't what she said.
But television ain't going to show you that. Let it play. Let it play. Get more. Look at all the people standing up. That's Esau for you.
Yeah, he got the fat. He got the fat.
Now listen. Listen to this.
In March 1991, President Guillermo Endara proposed a constitutional amendment that would forever abolish Panama's right to have an army. Later that year, a law was passed by the United States Congress to renegotiate the Panama Canal treaties to ensure continued U.S. military presence in Panama, on the grounds that Panama was no longer capable of defending the canal.
Because you destroyed their army.
Wow.
So now they wrote new laws and sealed it up.
Right.
That's what you call
Demon.
theft.
Right.
That's what you call theft right there.
Yeah, boy.
A hell of a deal. There was another part in here that I was looking for, but I couldn't find it. I mean, I'm going to say something real quick. And I might want to, no, you know what? I'll come back to that another time. I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and then we're going to put up
Good stuff, D.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective disorder. Eliakim, you on, brother.
Seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is a type of depression that's related to changes in seasons. SAD begins and ends at about the same times every year.
So when it says seasonal, the reason why I'm going on to this because I'm going to compare two situations. Okay, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of what I'm talking about. And then next week, I'm going to go deeper into this here with scriptures. You know, I got to bring the scriptures with it. I know we've been doing a lot. We hit the scriptures in the beginning, and then we're just going through a lot of stuff now. But next week, we're going to put them together. But what I want y'all to understand was that the doctors and the medical society in this country basically says that there is a disorder that is associated with seasonal changes, meaning in the colder climates or during the fall where there's less sunlight, depression has more of a chance of seeping in. This is important because the 2 points that I'm going to make is that this American system of so-called justice understands this here. I'm going to mention this. I'm going to read a little bit more on it, but I'm going to mention 2 cases where you're going to understand this. Here you have the brother going back to the time of Khalif Browder. How many of y'all remember him? The brother who was charged with the backpack situation. Can we read a little bit of that? We gonna come. You know what? Let's do this in order. Read this, then we're gonna get Khalif Browder. Come on. We back to SAD now. Seasonal affective disorder. Let's read that thing.
Seasonal. You want me to start back from where
Yes,
I left
sir. Yes, sir.
If you're like most people with SAD, your symptoms start in the fall and continue into the winter months, sapping your energy and making you feel moody. Less often, SAD causes depression in the spring or early summer.
Go ahead.
Treatment for SAD may include light therapy.
Treatment for SAD may include light therapy. So basically, they're saying that if you are in a situation where you get little sunlight, you are more susceptible to being depressed, and you go through these through this disorder. Read.
Phototherapy, medications, and psychotherapy.
Okay. Read that. Don't brush off.
Don't brush off that yearly feeling as simply a case of the winter blues.
So they're saying it's not just the winter blues. They're getting ready to make a point that this is a real disorder. Go ahead.
Or a seasonal funk that you have to tough out on your own. Take steps to keep your mood and motivation steady throughout the year.
So how do you do this? Let's get Khalif Browder. Let's get the Khalif Browder situation now. When Yeah. Yeah. Read that.
Khalif Browder, May 25th, 1993 to June 6th, 2015, was an African-American youth from the Bronx, New York, who was held at the Rikers Island jail complex without trial.
So if he's held without a trial, that means he's inside. Okay, go ahead.
Between 2010 and 2013. For allegedly...
For what?
Allegedly stealing a backpack containing valuables.
Go ahead.
During his imprisonment, Browder was in solitary confinement for 2 years.
So he didn't get to see the sunlight. He did not get any of this, what we just read about here. Now, let's get the flip side. Give me the Washington Post. We're gonna go deeper into this next week. Give me the Washington Post now. The Washington Post. Is that the one? Well, read that. Let's see what we got.
The Washington Post. Woman charged with helping to steal laptop from Pelosi's office during Capitol riot.
Y'all remember this? This just happened not too long ago.
Right.
The woman that was involved in taking Nancy Pelosi's laptop. You're talking about federal crimes. Go ahead.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. A 22-year-old from Pennsylvania was charged Tuesday with helping to steal a laptop from the office of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
So, wait a minute now. There's no allegedness in this. Her butt was in. Why the hell was she even in the Capitol?
Right.
Why was she even there? Khalif Browder was nowhere near whatever they're trying to frame him with, and he had to do time for nothing.
Right.
Go ahead.
During the storming of the U.S. Capitol, one of the two new alleged felonies for which the defendant could face decades in prison.
Go ahead.
The FBI says Riley June Williams appears to have filmed and then shared a video of another person lifting an HP computer off a desk.
Now, hold it. Now, get the part where it said, give me the other part when it said about the Riley Williams ordered home. You got that one? Put that one up there. Listen to this in. Watch this.
This is ABC. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Riley Williams, 22 of Harrisburg, was ordered to home confinement pending further...
Where she can get sunlight. She ain't in no solitary confinement, none of that at all. And she did it. She was in there doing the evil. Showing you. Go ahead.
Was ordered to home confinement pending further legal proceedings in her case against the apparent theft of Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Not alleged theft, apparent theft. Two different words. Right. Alleged and apparent. Apparent theft. Go ahead. Of Nancy Pelosi's computer on January 6th in Washington, D.C. Go ahead.
Williams has been recently charged with aiding and abetting theft of U.S. property and obstruction of official proceedings of U.S. Congress.
Did Khalif Browder do anything like this?
Nope.
Hell no. But this white woman, she did it. And what they did, they allowed her to go home. Okay. So next week, Lord willing, we're going to go deeper into this thing, brother and sisters. We're going to go deeper into this thing, and we're going to bring out the scriptures. And the reason why I'm bringing this stuff out here is because in case anybody's trying to figure out why am I doing all, why am I going through all of this kind of stuff here, it's because of our unity. That's what's in the way, brothers and sisters. You want to know what the solution to all of this is? Come together under God's commandments. That's the message. That's the message that we're pushing. The Bible, which is the book of our fathers, tells us how to come together properly. Tells us how to be in order. Tells us how to endeavor to keep that unity, to work to keep that discipline going. That's what this is about. Okay? Without it, we're going to experience plenty of these things until we get wiped out the globe. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. And Captain and brothers, y'all got something that y'all want to add? Because next week we're going to go a little further. We're going to go further. Brothers and sisters, go ahead, Captain, what y'all got?
Yes, sir. So, Israel, happy Sabbath to you. Hope y'all enjoyed part 3 of the media, social media, and PATV gang, okay? Right. Please don't neglect to give your alms. For those who would like to give alms, fill out your envelope and place it in your local assembly alms box, okay? To give alms online, donate to IUIC Concord via PayPal at iuic.concord.nc at israelunite.org. And don't forget to donate to the Booster Club via PayPal at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. Okay, and we thank you for tuning in, Deep.
All praise to the Most High, brothers and sisters. We continue to send our prayers up. We to also need to mention this. Look over our bishop. Look over our brothers that's overseas, that's doing the work of the Lord. Lord, to protect them, we pray that the Lord protect them and to put their angels around those brothers, you know, and everyone that's supporting that effort to bring our leaders, bring our brothers back home safely after the work, and let them do the good work of the Lord while we're over there. In the name of our Father, in the name of the Son, we pray that the Lord bless the bishop and bless the brothers that's doing this great work to continue to unify and to bring our people together as thus saith the Lord commanded us in that Bible. And with that, we say shalom And happy Sabbath, my brothers and sisters. We see you next week, Lord willing. Happy Sabbath. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel.
Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath.